Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
ISKCON Founder-Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki
Jai.
Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Guru Bhakta Vrinda ki
Jai.
Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki
Jai.
Shri Prabhupada ki Shri
Jai.
Prabhupada Noga ki Samveda Bhakta Vrinda ki
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Gaur.
All glories for assembled devotees.
Hare
All glories
Krishna.
for assembled devotees.
Hare
All
Krishna.
glories for assembled
Hare
devotees.
Krishna.
All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. What do you want me to do? Any verse. Open the book. Anybody wants anything to be explained or anything? Whatever I want.
Yeah, your choice, man.
My choice.
For Grihasthas, most of them are Grihasthas here.
So say something in it. What do you want?
Some topic about balancing
Material life and spiritual.
It's the most popular topic. Anyway, we should read something from Prabhupada's book. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridavritah namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. You're reading from chapter 9, text 14. Translation: always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. Purport: the Mahatma cannot be manufactured by rubber stamping an ordinary man. His symptoms are described here. A Mahatma is always engaged in chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. He has no other business. He is always engaged in the glorification of the Lord. In other words, he is not an impersonalist. When the question of glorification is there, one has to glorify the Supreme Lord, praising His holy name, His eternal form, His transcendental qualities, and His uncommon pastimes. One has to glorify all these things. Therefore, a Mahatma is attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who is attached to the impersonal feature of the Supreme Lord, the Brahmajyoti, is not described as Mahatma in the Bhagavad Gita. He is described in a different way in the next verse. The Mahatma is always engaged in different activities of devotional service as described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Hearing and chanting about Vishnu, not a demigod, a human being. That is devotion. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu and Smaranam, remembering Him. Such a Mahatma has a firm determination to achieve at the ultimate end the association of the Supreme Lord in any one of the 5 transcendental rasas. To achieve the success, he engages all activities, mental, bodily and vocal. Everything in the service of the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, that is called full Krishna consciousness. In devotional service, there are certain activities which are called determined, such as fasting on certain days, like the 11th day of the moon, Ekadashi, and on the appearance day of the Lord. All these rules and regulations are offered by the great Acharyas for those who are actually interested in getting admission into the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the transcendental world. The Mahatmas, great souls, strictly observe all these rules and regulations, and therefore they are sure to achieve the desired result. As described in the 2nd verse of this chapter, not only is this devotional service easy, but it can be performed in a happy mood. One does not need to undergo any severe penance and austerity. He can live this life in devotional service guided by an expert spiritual master and in any position, either as a householder or a sannyasi or a brahmachari, in any position and anywhere in the world, he can perform this devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus become actually Mahatma, a great soul. Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyam Ishwaram Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swaminiti Namine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, Prabhupada is mentioning here how the title of Mahatma is open for anybody, up for grabs. Not exactly. Anybody can become a Mahatma if he becomes absorbed in worshipping Krishna, thinking of Krishna, chanting his holy names, and serving him. And Prabhupada comments that one cannot rubber stamp a person as a Mahatma. He should actually be a Mahatma, in the sense that he has got love for Krishna. That's what makes a Mahatma. If he has love for Krishna, then automatically he is absorbed in Krishna, is absorbed in his devotion service. So Prabhupada is saying whether a householder, brahmachari, vanaprastha or sannyasi, they can be Mahatma. Even a householder can be a Mahatma. So I know many of you are Mahatmas, because in this country you're chanting Hare Krishna, getting together and serving Krishna and trying to dedicate your time and energy as Prabhupada's definition. And that way, following strictly the instructions of Srila Prabhupada can make a person Mahatma. If you follow the instructions of a Mahatma, you can become a Mahatma. Of course, a Mahatma is nearly not bothered about becoming a Mahatma. He's simply interested in serving Krishna. He's not thinking in his mind, I should reach to the level of a Mahatma, I should be given the title Mahatma, I should be designated Mahatma, or anything like that. He is simply absorbed in Krishna. It's like Prabhupada is a very amazing example of a householder Mahatma. He was a very simple householder. He met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He got instructions from him. He was very sincerely serving his family, very dutifully, very responsibly. And he received these instructions from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he took it to heart. The main thing is he took it to heart. He didn't think it to be just another instruction. He took it seriously. That made all the difference. He took it very seriously, especially everything that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said. Prithivite ache jata nagaradi gram sarvatra prachar hoibe mora naam. It's mentioned in the Bhagavat, Chaitanya Bhagavat. And that means that my name will be sung in every town and village in the Prithvi, whole world. But it seems that many of the disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, with all due respects to them, they didn't think the same way, just like Prabhupada thought. Many of them, it seems, even gave explanations that this Prathita Jata Nagaradi Gram means inside Bengal, maybe inside India. And that's what they thought. Prithvi means, they interpreted that way. But I heard from another person, another devotee, that Prabhupada was in one particular class in which it was explained like that. He came along with the son. And then he said that, no, Prabhupada-Acharya means all over the world. So he just sort of, after the class, didn't argue, mentioned that, but I think you should, that's the right meaning is that all over the world it will happen. Then, after a little discussion, he said, some fool will get empowered to go all over the world and bring the holy name. That is Krishna's job. He's supposed to have mentioned this. That he said, some empowered fool, even a fool can be empowered by Krishna to do it. He's supposed to have mentioned something like that. So Prabhupada believed. He didn't interpret anything. Very simple. Simple people, it's very easy for them to become devotees. If they're a little complicated, it's difficult to be simple. The material world is a complicated place. Actually, spiritual life is simple. One Krishna, we worship Him, He's worth worshipping, He's got all the wonderful qualities and wonderful pastimes to attract us. We worship Him and go, back to God. Very easy, the instruction is. But in the material world, people are very complicated. The nature of the material world is complication. And people are comfortable in complication. The thing is, the more they increase the complication, the more they sort of passionately increase the complication, the more they feel that they are being successful. They like to multitask on so many things. They like to do so many different types of things and achieve many different portfolios for themselves. But a devotee thinks very simply. And that's why for a mundane materialist, a devotee's life is not really very thrilling. One person asked me, but yes, chanting the same mantra again and again, are you not, at least change the mantra? Repetitively chanting the same thing again and again. At least you guys change the mantra. I laughed. I said, he wants variety in mantra. So one day I can chant that, second day I can chant another mantra. Some people call us fanatics. In India they call the other groups, the Hindu groups, they say, you people are Krishna fanatics. For you everything is Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Only one thing. But we have a variety of 33 crores of demigods we can go and access. We have only one. So the material mind is used to so-called variety. But a devotee is actually simple. Because he is simple, Krishna consciousness is simple. If you're complicated, then devotional life is a little complicated. Simple people. It's very easy to teach them to chant Hare Krishna and worship Krishna and be dedicated to Krishna, and that's it. They take it up. So Prabhupada, actually very determined person, very simple person. If you want to study a successful householder, you should study Prabhupada's life. Very good, responsible personality. Looked after all his family members up to one point. Up to a certain point, beyond which he thought it's not necessary. And he completely changed over and benefited so many householders all over the world to take up Krishna consciousness. So actually speaking, in householder life, maybe a person is challenged with many different types of difficulties, seemingly challenges. But if he knows how to turn it around, then those difficulties can become great assets. Difficulties can become great assets in the sense they will promote your spiritual life very nicely. You see? This was the type of burning sensation, Vishaya Taranga. Material life by itself has got that capacity to deeply burn you inside. Especially when people in this material world seek sense gratification from various levels, from the gross levels right up to the very subtle levels. It can be burning. And when we do that, we have to have on the side some type of a let out. And that's why people become religious and pious. At least for the sake of keeping off the burning. But devotees know that whatever trials and tribulations they will do, even if they are not interested in sense gratification, whatever they are faced with, they know that these things are coming to make us depend on Krishna more and more. Just like Prabhupada, he was working very nicely on his business. When his business crashed and there was really no hope of going back, he actually became happy. It's mentioned that he was sort of happy, and he quoted the shloka from the Bhagavad. Harishye tad dhanam shanai. Yasyaham anugrahanami harishye tad dhanam shanai. Whoever I want to show my mercy on, I will take away all their material asset from them. Prabhupada quoted the shloka when his business actually crashed, and we decided, okay, that's it. Krishna is indicating to me that I should go ahead and surrender to him. And he took that. He took that. And beyond that, many times in his dream also, his guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he appeared 2 times and told him, what are you doing? Come take sannyas. Actually, the first time he was, my gosh, how can I do that? I have children, I have family, I have a business, and it's all moving so nicely. And now my Guru Maharaj is telling me, is it true? And actually, he settled down again and again. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur came in his dream and said, come. Don't spend time, you come. So you imagine he was a very good householder and he was aghast. How can I do this? So sometimes people think that Prabhupada is a very special person. It's Prabhupada, he can do all that. I am just an ordinary devotee, I am an ordinary grahastha, I am earning my eking out a living, like that. But if we go into Prabhupada's life, you see, he went through everything that everybody else goes through. He went through all those difficulties, solid difficulties, many. As soon as he left householder life and he went through these things, challenges, his challenges increased when he started preaching Krishna consciousness. It's increasing amount of challenges. You see? If you read his life history, you can see. So it is not that Prabhupada is so special that things didn't happen to him. Everything that happened to us, even worse things happened to Prabhupada. It's just that Prabhupada turned around everything very nicely and, achieved success in his spreading of the holy name and doing high level of devotional service for Krishna. So, Vishaya Taranga, the Kurma Brahmana, he stated to Lord Chaitanya that I am so torn by these miseries. And I would rather come with you, give up everything and come away with you, dance, chant and be happy. You are so inspiring. Watching a sannyasi like you, you are simply dancing, chanting and having a fun time. And we are all struggling. Why I should not do the same thing, also come away with you. So Lord Chaitanya told him, there is no necessity for you to do that. You do your dharma as a grihastha. As much as I am benefiting, you will also benefit. You see? So he told him, you preach. The solution given by Lord Chaitanya is, you become a devotee. You chant Hare Krishna. Jare dekho tahe kaho Krishna upadesh. Amar agnya guru hoi tare desh. He said, you preach. You chant the holy name and you preach. If you preach, kabuna bhadive tumara vishaya taranga. This vishaya taranga will never affect you. Punarapi eithani paibe mura sangha. Again in the same place you will get, in fact I will be with you. You will always get my association. That this is a secret. In Lord Chaitanya's movement, the secret is to chant Hare Krishna and give it to others. By giving it to others, you'll be free from misery. In other words, you preach, you're free from misery. You practice and you preach, you're free from Vishaya Taranga. This is the trick. That is why our members in Krishna Consciousness, Prabhupada specifically said there, this is Lord Chaitanya's movement. He said, we should preach the holy name to others. If you're a member of the movement, then you talk about the holy name to others, you make people Krishna's devotees, and you will see you'll become very happy. You'll be free from the miseries of Grihastha life. When people don't do that, or to some level they do and sometimes they don't do that, then maybe they will be affected in various ways. But whatever their material condition is, irrespective of their material condition, you can be happy by preaching, dancing, chanting, partaking of prasadam in the association of devotees. See, you'll see in the history of what's mentioned in history, you will see many such devotees who may be poverty-stricken even, but were actually very happy because of the mercy of the Lord. And the Lord was showing great mercy. He was not relieving them of their material misery. He was not even bothered about that. And neither they were bothered about it. They were not asking Krishna for that. But together they were enjoying. Pandavas were exiled. Krishna didn't go to them and say, really, who did it? Let's get back and let's put you back. He didn't say all that. He went and met them in the forest and sympathized with them. Sometimes people ask, what year your Krishna is? He went to the forest, he didn't do anything for them. He is God. But there were so many years outside in the forest, with wild birds and beasts and, eking out a living with wearing some bark and eating fruits and roots and everything. It's not that Krishna said, come back, I am the Supreme Godhead and put you back. I can do anything. He didn't say that. And Yudhishthira Maharaj also said, no, whatever is you're supposed to go through, we'll go through. And he always abided by Krishna's instructions. Similarly, you'll see many such personalities, the devotees of the Lord. It is not that they did not go through this material situation. Everybody goes through material situation. But the real trick is that we are Krishna conscious. When we are Krishna conscious, we can go through for the sake of Krishna. Kunti Devi is also praying. What a great heroic lady. She went through so many difficulties. And she's summarizing those difficulties in the Bhagavad to Krishna. At that time she is telling him that all these difficulties we went through. You see, Vishan Maha Agni Purushata Darshanat Asat Sabhaya Vanavasa Krichrita Mridhe Mridhe Aneka Maharatashtaso Drauni Astratas Chashma Hare Bhirakshita. You saved us. Visha, my son was poisoned. Maha Agni, we were burnt in a house of lac. Purushada Darshana, Purushada, so many man-eaters attacked them in the forest. Demons and all sorts of, Rakshasas, and you saved them from all of them. Asat Sabhaya, Asat in the Sat Sabha, my daughter-in-law was disrobed. Vanavasa, they were sent to the forest. Mridhe Mridhe Aneka Maharatashato, in the war, so many great Maharathis attacked my sons. Drauni Astra, and lastly Dronacharya's son, Ashwatthama, he released the Brahmastra on the last descendant of the Pandavas and the Kurus. All these things you only protected us. Abhirakshita. From all these things, you're the one who protected us. And I was so Krishna conscious then. So I'm asking you again, Vipada Santo Tasashvat Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru. Bhavato Darshanam Yatsayat Apunat Bhavadarshanam. Please give me those Vipadas again and again. Because while being in that situation, I can be so conscious of you. And we can enjoy your mercy. What an amazing prayer. I don't think we are going to pray like that for sure. Vipada, income tax, raid, this happened, that happened, give it to me again and again. I don't know when anybody is running there. That type of earthquake and tsunamis. That's, Kunti Devi's prayer. So, balancing our material life. Grihastha life has got so many concerns. I don't think there's great difference between Grihastha life and other lives nowadays in Kali Yuga. Everybody is always evened out pretty well. Even the brahmacharis have got their own concerns. All sorts of concerns. So anyway, the point is that material life means difficulties. Material life means difficulties. And we have stupidly made the choice. Anyway, sometime Krishna bhuliya bhoga vancha kare. We've forgotten Krishna and we made this choice of coming to enjoy the material world. And therefore along with this concomitant misery for anybody who accepts this material world. So over a period of time devotees get used to it. They get greater rasa chanting Hare Krishna, associating with devotees and waiting for whatever happens, whatever is Krishna's decision in their facing of many different types of challenges. But amazingly, the real nectar is if a person consistently, in spite of difficulties, continues to execute his devotional service, especially in his grihastha life. He can become a very mature devotee. You see, the persons who swim against the current constantly, they are very good swimmers. And a grihastha may be a person who is constantly have to face these difficulties. There's great opportunities for becoming a Mahatma, like Prabhupada is mentioned here. We have great examples of so many grihasthas who are very wonderful devotees. In Lord Chaitanya's movement, you'll see so many wonderful grihasthas. And all ranges of people. Right from Maharaj Pratap Rudra, who was a king and in opulence, Raghunath Das Goswami, who was Zamindar's son, right up to Palavecha Sridhar, was selling banana leaf cups and eking out a living with hardly anything. All of them attracted the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All of them attracted the mercy of Lord Chaitanya because he was pleased with their devotion. So pleased with their devotion. See? In the Bhagavatam we have the beautiful description of Sudama Brahmana. How Sudama is approaching Krishna. He is a real utter poverty-stricken life. And his wife is, with great difficulty it is mentioned, she asked him, because he's such a chaste wife, she gave a hint that maybe we are suffering so much, you could ask your friend something. You are always talking about your friend, Krishna, and maybe he will help you. This she said, it's mentioned, he said because there was nothing at home for her to give him. Everything was empty, leave alone the kids. She felt very much, I'm not able to feed my husband. And that's the time when she was unable to bear the poverty that she asked lightly, maybe you could do this. And then he immediately picked up on that. Why? Not because he will get any relief from his poverty, but he was immediately thinking, yeah, that's a good idea, I can go and see Krishna. I can have a darshan of Krishna. Even in his poverty, he was so Krishna conscious that he took his wife's idea and said, okay, I'll go. But ayam hi paramo labho uttama shloka darshanam. He was thinking inside, it seems, parama labha uttama shloka darshanam, I will get the darshan of Krishna. And that was foremost in his mind. You see, foremost in his mind. And she got just 3 mushtis of flat rice. Pratyukaika mushtim. She went and begged and got, and she gave it to him tied in a cloth. And Sudama was very happy and excited to go on that long journey, because at the end of it he'll be able to see Krishna. Right? He was so excited. And he walked all along with no food, with no water to drink, no resting place. Can you imagine how long those days they would have walked and walked and walked? And he hardly had much of a clothing on him. And when he arrived in Dwaraka, how he would have been. He was really dirty. And he was really skinny. having not eaten anything. It's mentioned he turned around the corner of the palace and he was wobbling and coming, asking, this is Krishna's palace. And when he was turning around and coming, Krishna was in all luxury and opulence, relaxing on his couch. Rukmini was fanning him, and all his assistants were attending to him in many different ways. And from a distance, he could see that Sudama is coming. As soon as he caught sight and he knew that it is Sudama, it means he sprang out of his couch. He sprang out of his couch and he didn't put his footwear. He just ran shouting Sudama, and he went to the gate and he embraced Sudama. And as the Bhagavatam says, he started crying. He shed tears on Sudama's shoulder. To the amazement of everybody who was there attending to him. Who was that? Rukmini. And everybody was wondering, who is this person who is so important? Hare, we are serving you, you're sitting on the couch and some half-naked fakir has come. You're going and attending to him, some beggar. He's, how does he look? Sudama was dark, skinny. His ribs were all sticking out and you could see his ribs from under his cloth. It was so gauzy and thin. You could see his ribs and he was shivering. Krishna embraced him and he was drowned in the mercy of Krishna. And he was speechless. Sudama was really speechless. Very simple person, won't talk too much. Completely quiet and introspective person. He was led by Krishna into the palace. He was seated on his own throne, on his own seat. And then Krishna washed his feet. Washed his feet and then threw the Charnamrita on his head and sprinkled on everybody else. So watching that, everybody got busy. My gosh, Krishna is serving this person. So Rukmini took the chamar and started fanning Sudama. We have to do something, right? My master, my husband is doing this. So everybody got busy bringing other things and cooking for him and making his things ready. They knew that Krishna means business. He started washing the feet of this person. Whoever it is, he's very important to Krishna. We can make out that. This crony Brahmana is really got the power to do all these things. My Lord and Master is washing his feet. How is he so powerful? So Krishna attended to him, fed him, dressed him, had him take his bath, everything, made him rest. Opulent situation, circumstance. Sudama rested, ate, everything. Then after that, Krishna sat beneath him on the seat. It's mentioned he held his feet to his chest and massaged it. Can you believe it? Krishna was holding his feet to his chest and massaged his feet. And was speaking to Sudama, asking, you remember those days we studied together in the Guru's ashram? And he was reminding him of wonderful things. But actually it's mentioned, Krishna was wanting to have a very loving reciprocation with him. He knows what Sudama has come for. And that he's not bothered about. But what he was really concerned about is, where is that special thing you bought for me? It's mentioned that that's what he was aiming at. But Sudama, after seeing all the treatment he got, 5-star treatment and beyond that, he was feeling very shy. After all that he ate and all the cuisine, whatever Krishna gave in his palace, must be something very good. He didn't want to show Krishna that dirty small piece of cloth in which some flat rice would have soaked in his sweat and dried in the sun for so many days together. How can he give this to Krishna? So it's mentioned that he decided, oh my gosh, I'll never take it out. That stinking piece of thing I can use on my way back. I'm not going to give this. He decided in his mind. But Krishna, it seems, was thinking, why is he not giving me that? He wanted that reciprocation. I bought this for you. He's waiting for that. Whatever it be, Whatever it may be does not matter to Krishna. He wanted that loving reciprocation from Sudama. But Sudama was thinking, I can't give this. So Krishna, spoke about his childhood, spoke about everything, and then he was waiting for Sudama to say, I bought this from home for you. And since he didn't do that, it's mentioned that Krishna gave a hint. So how is everything at home? He asked. So Vishnu Thakur comments that he's trying to give him a hint. You remember at home your wife has given me something. You pull it out. So but Sudama was saying, no. I mean, everything is fine at home. There's nothing wrong at home. He didn't say much about home. And it's mentioned Krishna pursued it. And he directly asked, Kim upayanam manitam brahma me bhavatat grihat. Shamelessly Krishna asked, have you bought anything for me from home, O Brahmana? Can you imagine? When some guest comes to your house, will you ask him, did you bring anything for me? Is it so bad to ask somebody? Yeah? Sometimes kids do that. You've seen kids doing that. Hey, what you brought for me? I brought this, I brought this. Oh, thank you very much. Kids do that. It's okay, fine. But can you imagine an adult asking, did you bring anything for me from your home? Then imagine Sudama, my gosh, he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. Even after Krishna asked, Krishna is shamelessly asking, did you bring anything from home for me? He means to say, did your wife send anything for you, for me? And even then Sudama did not act. That's when Krishna decided, this guy is not going to give. I have to take it. Because Sudama was such a simple devotee. Very, difficult for him to even talk so easily. And Krishna knew that he is like that. From his younger days he knows. So Krishna said, I know him. He's not going to give it. He's not going to give it. And then he plucked it out of him. And some acharyas say that he had actually packed it under his armpit. How long? He had brought it, you put this thing like this, and then sometimes for grips you just hold it so that it doesn't fall off. And you had it like that. And then Krishna just ripped it out of him. What is this? And he opened it, and Sudama can't do anything now. I mean, he's such a, sadhu, that if Krishna took it, he's not going to say, don't take it and all that. He can't even say that much. So he just ripped it out of him. Krishna knows he can't protest. He ripped it out of him. And in front of everybody in the palace, he opened that dirty cloth. And then he started exclaiming, oh, my dear friend, you brought this for me from home. What Sudama should have said, he's saying. Sudama is not even saying that. So he is saying, oh, you bought this for me from, how wonderful. And he opened that. And all the palace members were watching, what is that? Why is he opening that? And he opened that. And then he took one whole handful and ate it. And it was in complete bliss and happiness. Krishna wanted to enjoy Sudama's little offering, which he has brought with great feeling. His wife has sent with great feeling. And in spite of all the other things that he did to Sudama, he reciprocated with Sudama by eating that. He ate that. And he relished it so much. And he was going to take the other one more, mouthful, when Rukmini stopped him and told him, my dear Lord, that's enough. And there are two reasons given for that. One, she said, you alone are enjoying this wonderful thing, we also need to enjoy. So she took it out of him. And then, Rukmini says so, Krishna doesn't say anything back much. But actually Rukmini was also mentioning to him that is enough. It takes care of everything that he needs. If you eat more, it means that even I have to go and serve Sudama, which I don't think I want to do now. In this way, Rukmini took away the thing. Oh, my wife asked me to ask. I never asked anything for it. He didn't even ask. He was so overwhelmed with Krishna's presence, with the association with Krishna. He's going back and he's thinking that, see, Krishna did not give me anything material because he doesn't want my devotion to be spoiled. He's finding his own explanation for it. I didn't ask, Krishna didn't give because he didn't want my devotion to be spoiled. And then after all, who am I? I am a nobody. But imagine what he did to me. He came and embraced me. You see, Kwa aham daridra papiyan, Kwa Krishna Sri Niketana Brahma Bandhu iti smaham bahubhyam parirambitah. Who am I? Daridra papi. A poverty-stricken, sinful Brahmana. And who is Krishna? He has got goddess of fortune on his chest, Sri Niketan. And I am a Brahma Bandhu, means a fallen Brahmana who doesn't execute his Brahminical duties properly. Brahma Bandhu iti smaham. And for me, he bahubhyam parirambitah. He came and embraced me. Such a low-class person. He was thinking this and walking back. And then he was thinking about how Krishna made a big thing about his bringing flat rice. You see, kinchit karoti. I did a small bit of some seva and he made it such a big thing. Oh, you bought this for me, and he distributed it and did all sorts of things. But what all he did for me? What all he did for me? He didn't say anything about it. How Krishna took the service of Sudama so valuably and he looked at it through a magnifying glass and said, oh, you bought this for me. Like that. Sudama was appreciating that. And how Krishna made a big thing about his small devotional service. So this brilliant incident of course Sudama went back home and saw everything was provided by Krishna. So much was provided by Krishna. And he knew that this is nothing for the Lord. But his devotion was most important. And Krishna was absorbed in the devotion of Sudama. It's not that devotees are always materially well placed. Irrespective of whether they're materially well placed or not, the devotees always rightly desire Krishna's benediction, his mercy. And by desiring that, they always are looked after by Krishna much more than ordinary. It is not even figuring in their mind that I should get a material situation as a byproduct of my service to Krishna. They're not thinking like that. Neither is he asking to solve my regular problems. But when we get a taste of bhakti for Krishna, just like Sudama, when he has tasted Krishna's love, I'm not asking for anything else. Like Kulashekara Alvar in his Mukunda Mala Stotra, he is saying, I don't want any great opulence. I am not asking for the fructification of my good karma. I am simply asking that I will remain in your devotional service. I will never forget your lotus feet, life after life. So the prayer of a devotee, irrespective of whatever material situation he is in, is always that I should be a devotee, I should be rendering devotional service, and I should always be situated in devotion to you. This is intelligent prayer. This is intelligent prayer. So when as householders people get matured through difficulties to understand this and express themselves like that to Krishna, then their difficulties are never known to them. Although there may be difficulties, they are not prominent in them. So it's unnatural that we can expect our material difficulties to go. But it is natural that our devotion will grow and our material difficulties will not affect us, although they may be there. That's the right thing that happens. In this way, many devotees sidestep all their material difficulties. It's unnatural that this material difficulties, like a miracle, will be taken off by Krishna. And then he can go around saying, see, I chanted Hare Krishna, therefore this thing is gone. See, I chanted Hare Krishna, therefore my daughter got married. See, I chanted Hare Krishna, therefore got a promotion. Actually, Sometimes it happens initially. But as you go ahead, Krishna wants you to increase your devotion to Him. And so He may even take off some things from you. Just like Prabhupada has, quoted this, Harishyeta dhanam shanai. Because devotion is the richest possession. And Krishna Himself is attracted by His devotee. Because the devotee possesses devotion. So, whether you're a grahastha or a sannyasi or a brahmachari, it doesn't really matter. One who possesses devotion to Krishna, he is a great soul. One may be very rich and may be having great devotion to Krishna. One may be very poor and having great devotion to Krishna, like Sudama, like Kolabecha Sridhar. Right? So this does not matter. Devotion matters. Devotion matters. So we can cultivate our devotion to Krishna by chanting of the holy names Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is a duty of everybody. And it's amazing that by chanting Krishna's names you can get the topmost spiritual benefit. This is Lord Chaitanya's special mercy. And Prabhupada has crafted this beautiful society, ISKCON, and distributed the holy name through that to everybody. You see? So you don't have to, in my times when I was getting initiated, I was told, don't get initiated if you don't want to join full time. This is the advice of Prabhupada to say, he said, how much ISKCON has changed? I want you to know, because you may not know this. I got initiated in 1983. And in 1981-82, I was in great turmoil because I was reading Prabhupada's books, distributing them, and I was very thrilled with the discovery of Prabhupada's books, and I want to get initiated. That time I was told by a senior Prabhupada's disciple who is still now there, I meet him regularly. And he told me, listen, I tell you one very important thing. If you don't want to join full time, shave your head and join full time, don't get initiated. Just chant Hare Krishna at home. This is what is the advice given to me. And I thought, oh really? And I didn't know how to make this decision. And I was in great turmoil. But now you don't even think like that. I mean, when I come to Grahastha's houses and they preach, they settle up nicely, they're worshipping Krishna at home, there's a beautiful temple, the kids are all devotees and everything. The prospect it's completely different those days. And either you join or you don't get initiated. You can come for the programs and Sunday program, you can eat prasadam, you can read Prabhupada's books. You don't have to get initiated. Because initiation means we require great surrender and full, complete, renunciation. From then onwards, now you see that you go to many devotees, they are working, they're doing their business, they get initiated, they, preach, they contribute to society, they do many more things. Very expansive. This is Lord Chaitanya's movement. And so nowadays Grahasthas actually have a good time. That's what I have seen. They have a good time because they can be with their families, they can be with their jobs, they can, especially in places like this when they come away from India. And India is a real janjat for them, real problem. All the relatives visit you and draw you into all sorts of ceremonies. And they really kill your Krishna consciousness. They kill your Krishna consciousness. So the best place to get the Indians is when they're outside of India. Especially my Guru Maharaj has a whole plan right from the beginning. He went to Gulf and preached to all the expats. He goes around, trying to find out how to do this. So when we are away from all these other, entanglements, and there's a wonderful opportunity for us to focus on Krishna, get involved in preaching Krishna consciousness. You don't have to be a sannyasi to preach Krishna consciousness. I know of so many devotees, wonderful preachers, no grahasthas, They do their business, they maintain their family, and they're beautiful preachers, wonderful preachers. Much better than sannyasis do. So the whole scope is open for anybody to do anything they want. This is Lord Chaitanya's moment, you see. He said that Kiba Vipra Kibanyasi Shudra Kenanoi Yai Krishna Tattaveta Sai Guru Hoi. Doesn't matter you are a Grahastha, Sannyasi, you are a Vipra, Brahmana, or whatever. But if you come to know Krishna consciousness, you develop love for Krishna, then you can direct many people into Krishna consciousness. Say Guru Hoi. So it's a great opportunity in Lord Chaitanya's movement for Grahasthas to become preachers, to become Guru. In the beginning when Shankaracharya preached all over, everybody knows that if you want to be spiritually oriented, you must take sannyas. Now Shankaracharya took sannyas, putting his head got stuck in a crocodile's mouth in the Periyar river, and he told his mom, he's 7 years old, if you don't give me permission for taking sannyas, no, I'll die. The crocodile will eat me up. Then his mother from the bank said, no, my son, you can take sannyas. 7 years he took sannyas. And since then everybody thinks that spiritual life means sannyasi. It's there in the minds of many Indians. Spiritual life means sannyasi. So it's not meant for me. I mean, I'm a grahastha. I will welcome a sannyasi home, I'll wash his feet, I'll give him some dakshina, and I'll go, please bless me. One day I will take sannyas and become a spiritualist. That's how people think. But in Lord Chaitanya's movement is the direct opposite. Some of the greatest preachers are grahasthas. Right? So it's a golden period of the grahasthas in Lord Chaitanya's movement. So you can utilize that very wonderfully. Just that you may have to strike a little balance, and that's a little art. Striking balance between your material commitments and keeping up your own personal spiritual life. That place to place, time to time, it differs. Some people have a cozy job. Now in India, you can always, all the IT companies, you can work from home, everybody's working from home. Especially in Bangalore. Because they tell the boss that if I can come to the office, it'll take me 2 hours to cut the traffic and come, and 2 hours to go back. And those 4 hours I can work from home. And he says, okay, remain at home. Because, so everybody works from home. It's even more convenient. They're working from home plus chanting Hare Krishna, and but a call comes, they attend. See, the devotees doing all sorts of things. They say working from home, and they're working a lot for Krishna from home. They're calling up devotees, preaching to them over the phone, and they attend the call. And a few things on the internet they do, and they're available whenever they're called. That's what is working from home. It's pretty exciting. That you can live off a company and preach Krishna consciousness. So it's a great scope, even in the material world, for doing things. So it's a wonderful opportunity in Lord Chaitanya's movement. Like in Bangalore, I'm just coming from Bangalore. Now we have now 3 new temples coming up, already come up. One Lakshmi Narasimha temple in Sheshadripuram, we had that old Jagannath temple, they bought off property behind, they're expanding. And in South Bangalore, I was there, we just had a Rath Yatra there. They have a huge temple, already built one complex, they're building another one. And now they're looking for land in other places. So the strategy is now to open lots of small temples everywhere. And in this way, people don't have to go through the traffic to get to the big major temple. They can meet in many places. And so all full of grahasthas managing the temples. And now it's the other way around. They're inviting brahmacharis to come and serve in the temple from elsewhere. So things have changed, and it will change. So it's grahastha zone. It's great time for grahasthas, for preaching and expanding Krishna consciousness movement. I know there will be many challenges too, but everybody has challenges. It's not that Prabhupada didn't have challenge. He was such a elevated devotee, such a great sannyasi, and he faced so many difficulties in preaching Krishna consciousness. From his own godbrothers, from many other types of people, and started an international movement. So everybody in preaching and executing devotional service will always have challenges in this world from Maya. and the more we go through them, the stronger we would become, and our determination to be Krishna conscious will increase. So challenges everybody has. Not that, only grahasthas have challenges. Maybe a little extra. So I will end my talk here with this few words. If you have any questions, I can try to answer them. Om Tat Sat, Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
It's more than lunchtime, isn't it? What's your lunchtime? 2:30?
3:30 usually. Yes, no, Prashant.
Normally.
Not.
Oh, really? So we finished on time, you mean? Can't believe it. Any questions or comments? Okay.
Let's go.
Oh, right. Somebody? Yeah. हिंदी में बोल.
अच्छा, कोई के डिवोटी होने की इच्छा नहीं रहते है ना, इतना भी वो लोग के वैसे अपना चलते भी कुछ नहीं कर पाते हैं, वैसे अपना बिजनेस में रहते हैं, बिजी में रहते हैं, लोग के कर्मानुसार आते हैं, नहीं तो आगे चल के भी कुछ ना कुछ होएगा करके भी सोचना चाहिए. क्या सोचने चाहिए?
मैं जो कुछ भी हिंदी जानता हूँ उसमें बोलूँगा. भक्ति जो होता है वह कर्म के अनुसार नहीं होता है. नहीं, भक्ति और कर्म दूसरा है. ऐसा नहीं कि कुछ लोग बोलते हैं कि आप भक्त बन गए, बहुत बड़े कर्म है आपको बहुत अच्छा, आप बहुत पुण्य आदमी है बोल के, आप बहुत पुण्य किया है. ऐसा नहीं, भक्ति और पुण्य में बहुत फर्क है. सो भक्ति कैसे भी कोई तरफ की स्थिति में कभी भी हमारे अंदर से बाहर आ सकता है. सब लोग भगवान के भक्त हैं, ये उनका स्वरूप है. तो शास्त्र में बताया कि भक्ति इंडिपेंडेंट है, कर्म के अनुसार नहीं, और कोई आपके अंदर ये करने से नहीं, स्वयं वो इंडिपेंडेंट वो बाहर आएगा. जब कुछ भी डिवोशनल सर्विस आप करेंगे तो वो करे उदया नित्य सिद्ध कृष्ण प्रेम साध्य खाबुनाय श्रवणादि शुद्ध चित्ते करे उदया. आप श्रवण करेंगे महामंत्र की, भगवान के लीले के बारे में, और डिवोशनल सर्विस करेंगे, वो बाहर आएगा. तो इसलिए तो कोई भक्त नहीं बनता है. हम बहुत ट्राई कर रहे हैं, बहुत प्रचार कर रहे हैं, फिर भी वो नहीं सुनते हैं. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है, हमारा बिजनेस हम देखते हैं, हम वो करते हैं, ये करते हैं, लेकिन वो भूल जाते हैं. तो कोई तरीका बनने का है, उनको प्रसाद खिलाने का है, उनको कुछ चरणामृत खिलाने का है, कुछ ना कुछ सुकृति, उनको कुछ डिवोशनल सर्विस करने का मौका देने का है उनको. तो थोड़ा पेशेंट रहने का है. हम क्या करेंगे, बहुत लोग हैं जो हम थोड़ा भी प्रचार करेंगे तो जल्दी भक्ति ले लेंगे, डिवोशनल सर्विस. उनसे प्रचार करो. जो टफ नट्स है उनसे ज़्यादा टाइम मत स्पेंड करने का. क्या करेंगे, कभी कभी बहुत क्लोज रिश्तेदार होते हैं, इसलिए तो आप सोचते हैं कि क्या करेंगे. हम तो ट्राई करें. नहीं हुआ, प्रभुपाद जी के चिल्ड्रन सब कुछ नहीं लिया ज़्यादा कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस. प्रभुपाद मेड द होल वर्ल्ड कृष्णा कॉन्शियस, बट उनका पुत्र लोग सब कुछ नहीं लिया कृष्णा कॉन्शियस. क्या करेंगे, इवन प्रभुपाद तो ऐसा है. सो दैट समटाइम्स वी कांट हेल्प. वी विल ट्राई, इफ इट डजंट वर्क, चलो बहुत और लोग हैं जो डिवोशनल सर्विस लेंगे, उनसे प्रचार करो. बस भगवान से प्रार्थना करने का है. नहीं होगा तो ठीक है, हम क्या कर सकते हैं. ओके, एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? Yes.
So what was the question and what was the answer?
Oh, really? Oh, everybody knows no Hindi here. Okay. Neither do I, nor am I very fluent. She's asking that sometimes people, we preach so much, they don't take up Krishna consciousness. They don't accept spiritual life. And they're so busy with their business and other things. And maybe she's talking about a husband or son or whatever. So what do we do in such situation, circumstance? So I told her that Bhakti is independent of any material activity. Bhakti will come out from everybody. It's there in everybody. It comes out when you start doing any devotional service. Chanting of the holy name, reading Bhagavad Gita, associating with devotees, eating prasadam. It slowly comes up and a person becomes excited about it. So I told her to give an opportunity to them, to feed them with prasadam, give them charanamrit, somehow make them hear something like that. So although they are not very inclined, gradually they may get some effect. Secondly, I said that sometimes people don't take it up so easily. They're very stubborn. And there are others you can spend your time on who take it up more easily. And the example is Prabhupada's own children did not show great inclination to Krishna consciousness. But he took sannyas and made the whole world Krishna conscious. The children did not take it up so seriously. Right? So it happens. That's the answer. Okay? Yes. Yes, you.
Prabhuji, how did you come to Krishna consciousness? What led you? Were there any circumstances that
Nothing very special to talk about. Well, I came to Krishna consciousness because somebody gave me a book. I read, I became very excited. I became excited about the fact that I was amazed that nobody told me these things for so long. So how is it possible that such important things are not told to people? That was the most exciting thing for me. The discovery that all these days I read some nonsense. And the real sensible things were not taught to me. So I was wondering, what a world, amazing. So that itself was enough motivation for me to give it up and try to help other people to know these things. It's very important that we have people who will spread this message, because enough people spread the other lousy message. That was my motivation. I was very attracted to Prabhupada and the saintly life of sacrifice, welfare for the whole world. That was very attractive. So I thought I should do something for Prabhupada's movement.
What was the book, Prabhu?
Pardon?
What was the book you read?
The book I read was Science of Self-Realization. That was a very interesting book. Did you read that? How do you like that?
Some bits I was not able to understand, but I was able to, because
Okay.
of that advanced book, so I couldn't understand all of it.
So which book you read?
Science of Self-Realization.
You also read the same thing. Okay. Yes.
Raj, I want to know which of the preaching methodologies are working the best. Like, if the people are, I want to know, like, according to ISKCON, according to their preaching methodologies, which has worked the best? Like, which is the best method? Like, whether book distribution or Bhaktivedanta or giving of the mantra, Hare Krishna mantra, directly to them, prasadam distribution. So which one is the best effective?
Each one works in different places, differently. Some places this, some places that. Like in a place like Melbourne or the Gulf areas, lots of expatriates, Indians get together. So these Bhakti Vrikshas are very popular because they get a chance to get together and appreciate each other's company and chant Hare Krishna. It works well. And some people are not like inclined to read so easily. So when they get into groups, they do study together. They get enthused to study. So these Bhakti Vriksha groups make study groups. So these are amongst the grahasthas and community of people. It's like very, very popular.
Popular Bhakti shop.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Then other places you have, university and youngsters. There they read the books and they ask 101 questions and they intellectually understand things. So book distribution and study of books and discussion, all that may be very nice. It gets educated people who want to ask 101 questions. Yeah, so those things work nicely. So places like Africa and all, Prabhupada said, we simply do kirtan and distribute prasadam. They were eating prasadam and becoming devotees. Yeah. So, but in most places they do everything. One will be the key, front focus, but nobody meets without prasadam for sure, right? Nobody is meeting anyway without prasadam. Then they get to read Prabhupada's books and chant. In many places people are very oriented towards dancing and having a good entertainment with music. They do a lot of kirtan, bhajan, they like it very much, they get attracted. This Prabhupada's method, he said that this simply Kevala Ananda Kanda, he said simply chant, dance and take prasadam. That is Gaur-Nitai's movement. That attracts a lot.
Because some people are not interested to read, so that time if we give them the book, then they are not interested to read at all. So
But they read many other things. It's not that they're not interested to read. They were not interested to read this.